Okay, friends, this is going to be a super quick video. I ran in the rain from Target. Well, briskly walked would be better. So this one, so I'm super excited because everything that I needed to get done is done. There are a couple of things that, like there's a couple of vents upstairs I need to switch out. But everything that I have to do is done. And Jessica's going to come later this week to clean everything. 2 Doors Down Bill is going to come later this week to switch out my kitchen sink, faucet. And Paige, Enrico, and Landon and I, with the help of a next door neighbor or across the street neighbor, child neighbor, who helped watch the littles, we took down the shutters. Now, I have put up shutters. I have not really taken down shutters. Like, we took down a few of them, but not all of them. It's a very tricky area to live in because we live in Southwest Florida. If our house was vacant, we really wanted the shutters up so our neighbors wouldn't have to shutter a vacant house while taking care of their house. But if I rent the house, it really needs to be down for safety standards. So we were about 75% shuttered before today. And the ladder, I'm like, so Rico and Landon got up on the tall ladder. Paige and I did some of the lower windows. I did get up on the short ladder, and I'm not really scared of heights as much as I am overconfident in the abilities that I no longer have. So like I'm overconfident that I'm fine, and then all of a sudden I'm not. So I don't want to fall off the ladder. There's no time for that. Talked to Jeremy today. He visited our Liberian daughters at the orphanage. One of them, we had just bought her school shoes like a month ago, and she's already outgrown them, which I think is great that she's growing, her feet are growing, and that we were able to get her, he was able to go hunt in the market and get another pair of shoes. Usually we have Emmanuel as our driver, but Emmanuel had something else to take care of today. So Mark took him, and Mark is extremely nice. He's kind of our backup driver. His wife recently had a baby. He's a super, super wonderful guy. Our drivers are fantastic. Not only do they drive us around, but they help us find shoes for our kids. Now, finding a pair of shoes in Liberia is challenging because there's a couple of stores that will sell new shoes, but I only actually found one store that sold new shoes, and they were selling like new Asics for like $150. And I'm like, why is this so expensive? Because it's from America. I'm like, oh, okay. But you can go in the market and buy used shoes for like $2 or $3, but like finding your size, not getting robbed while you're there. And I know that this is not an appropriate thing to say in America, hey, pretty white lady. But in Liberia, I'm often the only white lady for miles. So, hey, pretty white lady, I give you a ride. Come look at my stuff. Come window shop. Just window shop. They're like screaming at you. It's very distracting. And then, of course, I'm keeping my money like in my like top sports bra pocket, which is where we all should keep our money, I guess. And so I'm like pulling. It's just a lot. And so a lot of times when we do market shopping, I would stay in the car. Jeremy would stay in the car with the girls, and I would go on a hunt with Nelson or Emmanuel, whoever our driver was. So I'm curious to see how this went down, but maybe Mark just went and got it. Maybe Jeremy gave him money and everybody stayed in the car. I can't imagine the girls getting out at the market. It's a little too much for them. I don't think anything terrible would happen to them. I just feel like they could be, it's just a very busy place. I guess something bad could happen to them. Devin would probably be telling me I need to be holding their hands at all times and not letting them exit the vehicle, which is fair. So I spoke with the property manager that handles rentals in our area that was referred to me by a friend. We had a great chat. She's a very nice lady, very experienced. She gave me realistic numbers, what she thinks we could get. It's not ideal because the ideal thing would be that we're all coming home right now. That would be ideal. But we're not in an ideal world. So we're not doing ideal things. So it's adequate. It'll help a lot. And then she also said that if we were to rent our house for like 4 to 6 months or whatever, for 6 months, probably 5 to 6 months, and we got lucky and got to come home and our house is rented, like the question is, where do we live? Well, right now we're paying $4,600, I think we talked them down to maybe $4,200 a month, but we were paying $4,800 a month where we're staying in Liberia. And that includes one meal, but I mean, it's like almost double my mortgage. So, so that's the thing. So if we were to be able to leave Liberia and come back earlier, we could find a place in our area that would probably be at least $1,000 cheaper than what we're paying in Liberia. So it's still not ideal, but at least our house would be rented and we wouldn't have the problem with the mortgage. That being said, I have spent probably about $500 on getting our house ready, like getting new sheets, new blankets and towels, like just basic stuff that people could use, fairly furnished. I didn't go crazy or anything. I also have bought some shoes pretty much for all of our kids because everybody's feet have grown, American kids included. I got some new clothes for our American kids, and I've got to deal with my packing table. So we have, as every week unfolds, the beginning of each week, we are so hopeful that something good's going to happen. I had dinner tonight with Paige after we put the shutters on, and that's the good sign. I was telling Jeremy that, like, if I can find time to go to dinner outside of our house with friends of mine and just really relax and not just be like freaking out, then we'll know that I'm good and everything's taken care of. And then I had kind of like a dinner tonight and a brunch tomorrow. So dinner tonight with Paige and then brunch tomorrow with Anna. But both friends were like, if we need to cancel and just like eat sandwiches at your house, we can keep working on your house. Both of them saw my house in the first 48 hours that I was home. And both of them are going to be, like, Anna hasn't seen it in person yet. I told her we can still do brunch tomorrow, but she has to do a walkthrough with me just to celebrate. And then I got to talking to Paige about the 5 love languages and how my primary love languages are words of affirmation and acts of service. And so this has been a perfect job for me. But I need the words of affirmation. Otherwise, I'll really start to doubt myself and think that maybe I'm not allowed to go to sleep. And I am going to go to bed earlier tonight because I've got to go to bed early tonight so I can wake up a little earlier tomorrow and have the full day. And then I need to go to bed early tomorrow night because I have to leave here very early. I have to be at the airport at 6 a.m. I have to leave here at 5:30. I need to print out all my plane tickets. I need to do my travel checklist, make sure my passport's where it should be and all of that. Get all my documentation because it's going to take me like 36. It's going to take me, let's see, I'm going to leave here to be at the airport at 6 a.m. So I'm leaving my house at 5:30 a.m. on Wednesday morning. And I will have Jeremy and Emmanuel pick me up from the airport at 7 p.m. in Liberia. So what's 5:30 a.m.? So 38 hours. But really, it's not 38 hours because really it's 34 hours because Liberia are 4 hours ahead. So it's going to take me 34 hours to get home. On the way here, I did have a few Sky Miles. We're never going to have enough Sky Miles to pay for another ticket. We had enough Sky Miles to pay for 2 round-trip tickets when we went, but that was like 2 years of American Express spending for like our basic needs. We used it kind of like our check card. Here it is. I have it. Because I pulled it out of my sports bra pocket after going to Target and having to run in the rain. Everyone should have a sports bra pocket. You should keep your most important things there. Anyway, I upgraded one of my seats coming back to the Delta Premium Select instead of just the basic or the one of my tickets I had more legroom because I was in a emergency exit, but I was on the window. I'm not going to do that again. I'm going to get on the aisle if I can. Aisle seats are the best for me because I get a little claustrophobic and I feel like I'm nervous. Like I always have to pee and the most inopportune times. And like, I know psychologically, like my bladder probably doesn't need to pee, but it's just like me. Like, I'm like, oh, what if I don't get another chance? What if there's turbulence and maybe stay in my seat? Like what if it's just, after you've grown the people in your person, you just want to make sure your bladder is as empty as possible at all times, just no matter what. And so I'm like, I need an aisle seat. So that's probably more information that I need to share. But I have to go through the packing again. So I'll do a time lapse for you guys tomorrow when I'm packing. And, but I told Jeremy, like, brunch with Anna, dinner with Paige. If I'm able to go to a restaurant for both of those things and sit down and really just connect with friends and enjoy that, then I don't think that I will have concerns. Little things that I probably could have done but didn't do is I probably could have spent a little more time on the pool deck. cleaning that off. I just kind of ran out of time for that. I decided to lock the garage and kind of make it off limits for the renters because I don't have time to organize it to where they could use part of it. And that just is what it is. That would have probably helped us get a little bit more money. The other thing that we have to do is fix our screens, but the lady that I met with today that gave me her advice on the rental, she has a screen guy that can do it enough that people won't complain. And that's something we've been needing to do. We just haven't done because we haven't been here or cared about our screen. It was damaged in Hurricane Ian a couple years ago. So I need to look through my kids' requests before I go. The only thing I need to get shoes for my 8-year-old because her shoes still kind of fit, but she got paint all over them. And she needs to have something that's decent to wear when we go to court that's not tennis shoes maybe with paint on them. So but that's something like if I forget it's okay. But we're not going to the market in Liberia to find her shoes. I'll let her go barefooted before I do that. Actually, that's not true. I would go to the market again. But it's just not fun. So yesterday I spent time with friends. The shutters were a lot easier than I thought. I'm glad they're done. Let me show you guys my table real quick where I'm going to repack everything. I've got a few mail things to go through, like a few business things, but it's okay. I'll turn the light on. So I don't want you to freak out when you see this table and think, oh, she's never going to be able to do that. And that's just stupid. And why does she have so much stuff on the table? This is my things I would consider taking to Liberia. We were going to take a Starlink. We've decided not to do that because it's going to be quite expensive. And even though, since Starlink is not sold in Liberia, it will work, but there is not tech support. So Jeremy and I got to thinking about that, and we're like, no tech support means that we cannot, if we have a major problem, and like say he's working and he can't get Starlink to work, and he has job commitments, pretty sure he's not going to keep that job for very long if we have connectivity issues or if it just doesn't work like it's supposed to. So we're not going to take the Starlink because we won't have tech support. And there is actually some rules about international travel with the Starlink too that are kind of fine print rules. So like we're going to borrow ours from a friend. But I don't think you're really supposed to do that. It's hard to say. So I wish I had better answers for you guys on Starlink because we'd really... So sorry. I dropped you guys. On the Starlink thing, we had really thought that would be a good backup plan for us and for other families to work from home. It is scheduled to be released in Liberia in 2024, but it's not on the map yet. So we could look at other internet options. We've heard that there are other internet options. We just don't really have the confidence that they're going to work well because it's Liberia and that's tricky. I'm so glad I didn't crack my iPad when I dropped you guys because it doesn't have one of those otter boxes on it. Okay. So I've gotten to that point where I could be doing stuff in my house every day, all day, and it would never totally be done. But I cleaned out my pantry today, so Paige was able to take a lot of stuff there, and I'm probably just going to box up my spices and give them to Paige as well. If she wants to trash them, she can. And then I am going to empty both of my fridges, and hopefully Jessica will clean them for me, and I'll pay her extra. There we go. I think this is day 120. I'm not sure. I got to look. I miss our kids. I miss our family. I miss Liberia, if I'm being honest. I mean, it's hard to be a hostage. This week has been hard. But the thing about the people in Liberia is that they are recovering from a civil war that lasted for 20 years, that the people that are surviving now, the war was not their fault. It is their inheritance, and it is their responsibility to maintain peace now. And that's a tough job because it's almost like everybody lines up for a race and somebody chops your leg off and then holds you down and waits until everybody else is 25% in and then lets you go. And you're not going to win, but you want to finish. And it's kind of that's kind of, but they're so grateful. Like, they're so grateful to us. They're so grateful to us for providing, even though they know that we're coming from a place of heartache and grief with the lost time with our kids and the difficulty of this process and the draining of our material possessions. They are grateful for the work. They're grateful for the knowledge that we can impart. Thank you so much to Gina, Varney, and Ryan Zach for bringing me the phones physically. I know a lot of people have phones laying around, and some people maybe just didn't have a chance or see me or whatever, and that's okay. But those people that were like, ooh, I'm going to put this in my, like, I'm going to put it in my pocket right now and walk it right to her. I'm going to put it in my purse, and I know I'll see her, Sunday. I'm going to give it to her then. It's life-saving for these people. And so I think we've been able to be kind of a missionary type setting for these people and teach them about kind of how we conduct business, a little bit different than the U.S. government, obviously, but how we conduct business and how we love on people and how we work as a team. In Liberia, I feel like we receive and give a lot. We receive a lot of help. We receive a lot of guidance. We receive a lot of protection from people. We do bring resources to the table, but it's, resources are resources. They come and go. You can always make more money. But you can't get more time. So, my biggest tasks over the next 24 hours are packing and doing the finishing touches and making sure I don't forget anything that my kids asked for specifically. So I got to go through. I've got a couple different lists, and I have to pay her health insurance premiums. That stinks because we had to Cobra that, and that's very expensive. But I got to pay that, and then I just want to say that the thing that really keeps coming to mind is surrender. And I think when I was younger, I didn't really understand surrender or submission the way I do now. We felt like we would enjoy this process. We decided to adopt children because love is a decision. And this was the way that we chose to love children that we had not met, that are joining our family after their birth. To continue that project and to continue that decision of love, we have been asked to surrender a lot. And the surrender part isn't hard at all for me. The surrender is easy because each surrender phase has to do with a new task or job, like get the house ready to rent, or just endure the days in Liberia that are boring and wait for God to do things, but do what but we're doing things too. I mean, wait for God doesn't mean just sit there and do nothing, but do something every single day consistently and wait for God to tell you when it ends is what waiting for God often means. But I come from a place of gratitude. When I look around my house, I could have never done this by myself. I've had moments of breaking down and crying, even on the YouTube video. I've had moments where I'm laughing and giddy, like I am today. I've had my Walmart stories, my bank stories. I got to go to the pharmacy tomorrow, pick up our malaria medicine. But this project is so much about our two daughters. That's the bottom line. But it's become way more than that. This has become a mission and a ministry opportunity for our family to talk about Liberia and to support Liberia and to cheer for Liberia and to walk hand in hand with Liberia. This isn't about raising money for Liberia and sending everybody a check and everybody has a good day, eats for the day, and feels good about tomorrow. This is not that. This is making friendships that last a long time and partnerships, business, professional partnerships with these people that is going to matter. So, but it matters now. And we're teaching our kids, our American-born kids, as well as our Liberian kids, that love is a decision that requires physical commitment to a project, emotional commitment to a project. And I've tried to be a little bit better about talking about my faith on these videos and talking about my reasons for my actions. And some of this house is part of stewardship. You know, we fundraised a lot of money to survive this, and we appreciate everyone that gave and continues to give. We want to be good stewards of our house too, so that's kind of part of the rental process. But 2 Corinthians 4:16 through 18 says, "Therefore we do not lose heart, though outwardly we're wasting away, yet inwardly we are being renewed day by day. For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us a goal that far outweighs them all. So we fix our eyes not on what is seen, but on what is unseen. What is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal." Things that are seen right now for me are my house that's now clean and decluttered and very vanilla, like very not unique really. Like all of our personal touches have kind of faded into the background. That's okay. The unseen is the commitment of people I've never even met. And my friend Rico, I know his wife well. His wife and I are great friends. And then this stranger that Rico called, that's a friend of Rico's, that just out of the goodness of his heart on his birthday, no doubt, decided to donate 2 hours, maybe an hour or two of his time to bail me out, the girl that bought a house that was too big and left the shutters up that was too long. And for a good cause, I guess, but God bless him. What a good man, you know? Like, he's a young guy, but like, he showed up in flip-flops and he got on my roof. And it just shows you that people are good. They're good. People are good. He didn't even Paige was like, "Oh, this is my friend we told you about. They're actually living in Africa right now. And they came home to rent their house. Thank you for coming to help." He was like, "Oh yeah, no problem." Not a man of many words, but, and then Rico's the same. Like, Rico's like, "No, I'm going to take care of your shutters. It's going to be fine." And he did. And I helped, and I used the drill, and I love to use my drill. But the unseen is the intention behind those two guys showing up for us today. The unseen is when Paige shows up with her kids in tow and they're running around playing with toys. And whether I needed her or not, it was just, I was not going to be here alone. And I wasn't going to eat alone tonight, whether we were camping out, eating pizza off my countertop, doing stuff as we go, or we got to go sit down in a restaurant, which is what we did. That's the unseen. The unseen is hopefully there are government officials in Liberia that are Liberian born, that are in a place of power, a place of privilege there, and a place of leadership there that are going to lead this process into the light. That is unseen. What is seen is nothing has changed since we put our feet on Liberian soil. Since we got there, we have not seen anything change. But we do believe in the unseen. And we think that the unseen is about to show itself to us. But even if it does not, I can live in Liberia. I'm not leaving my kids there without parents under any circumstance. It was hard for me to leave any of them to just come here to take care of this one thing. Not going to get emotional. I've had a good day. But I just want you guys to know that what is unseen is eternal. And what are unseen a lot right now are the thoughts and the feelings and the emotions of our Liberian children in that orphanage and their peers. Because they are unable to speak for themselves. They are unable to tell us what they are thinking, feeling, or want, or need. It's partly it's culture, partly it's they're orphans and their identity has to be protected. But I cannot wait to have a conversation with my 25-year-old Liberian daughters one day and find out what they were thinking. Really, what were they thinking on these months that we just came in? We're the first family ever to just come visit all we want. And thank you to our adoption agency for allowing that. That's all I got. See you guys tomorrow.